I want to continue from where I got to last week, about the fact that the Creator created life forms in various dimensions, which is the gas state, then the first one is the spirit state, then the gas state, then we come to the liquid state and the solid state. So these dimensions or these forms of life is the science that our fathers have always known and have always had, even before the discovery of the state of life or the different realms of existence. So you cannot walk through the face of the earth and think that this is the only realm of existence. Like this life that we have here is the only realms of existence. There are multiple realms, there are multiple dimensions. So think about it. If he created the spirit state, then the spirit state has a certain level of living or a certain level of life force that is existing in the spirit state. The same way there's life force that is existing in the air state, there's life force that is existing in the water state or the liquid state, then life form that exists in the solid state. So because we find ourselves in the solid state, we limit our thought process. We limit the capacity of our engineering to think that, okay, the only place that life can possibly exist is in this dimension. So majority of the time we go through life thinking this is it. This is all that we are. This is all that we have. There's nothing else happening. There's nothing else going on. If this is not it, that is it. It's gone. But I'm sorry to disappoint you. There are multiplicity of life happening simultaneously. The life force in the spirit state is happening the same time as it's happening in the gas state and in the liquid state and in the solid state. So as I sit here and relate to you, there's another dimension of life that is happening in the same manner. As to your awareness or not, it's very minimal and it has no impact in the existence of the different life forms. This is the science that our fathers have always known. And our fathers did not make sure this truth and this science wasn't thrown away. Our fathers hid these signs in our symbols, in our culture, in our Edinkra symbols, in our way of life, our music, our phantom from. Certain vibrations that precede every time the phantom from is played. That is why our fathers could listen to the sound of the phantom from and interpret exactly what the drums is saying. So we call it the talking drums. So these life forms that manifest in different multiplicity of life or dimensions of life is something that all of us needs to open our understanding to. We cannot live in fear for the fear of the fact that we don't know and nobody has really taught us or nobody has really spoken about it to admit that, okay, it doesn't exist. Because I don't know and I'm afraid about it, it doesn't exist. Whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, these life forms exist and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do to change this. It's happening. It's either you wake up to the truth or you stay in ignorance. Either ways, this multiplicity of life or these dimensions of life is happening with or without your awareness. Odumakuma. 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 Papa, your children, son. And then you bring ya the wasi. I want to have who we are sick. We are sa orange sada. Until a year children, son, or son, the who we are sin sada. Papa, in one age more. I said, in I was it. I stay in Afata. Ejumezi melanated truth, Kui, yes, yet there was it. Any animal wa bapety in animal or yes, yet there was it. I said, don't come with an arty, Papa. As I see a mammy, your monster, Jensa mammy. As I see a mammy, your monster, Jensa. As I see a mammy, your monster, Jensa. Mammy, your monster, Jensa. But I'm part yet there was it. Well, may I do a year, Momba. One home boy, the boy womba, a page of womba could draw the wood. Yen to me and chow whom young boppo, that be. Our woman ye jina, yadi be or send off at the impa, the same bay. Until yet there was mammy. Kodana bomba human, Kodana come home. Kodana we are conakasaka sima womba. Kodana for womba bedroom pen draw on our back a day. Ah, yen nanny, yen aye. Mammy, yet was it. A straight to me na yamon, son, one joe. As I said to me na yamon, son, where's one joe, one saying. In sum, we are say to me na yamon, son. So that's I said, one joe, one son. A jerry asked to me na yamon, so. A see, you won't say, Ajo, you won't say, Abene. You want say, I will cook. You want say, yaw. You want so, a fee. You want say, amen. You want say, ah. Not from me, not from her. My fro. You want say, I bring. Now, if you join him, yeah, my own son. And none of my way won't baby I could now, yes, one gin so. And none of my casaka, what she say, we are ze. A bozzy in the moon, now, yes, one gin son. So I'm quite young cool. Go to an eating him. What's Nancy and age now? The other one I say. The woods in him, no boy and huban, no can you no pig and a could room pen dry, bussing your doja. On the we ask him after name now. The end I know my door for our property now, and I know may yes, thrown. 1 year old quan. 1 boy, 1 moment. 1 shrowan. Sergeant for come and come, I won't say. So pain and noche, monsa. Mina being jet, monsa. Mina being bedibus, monsa. So pain to Messi monsa. Da, Joan say. Auntie Maggie, also Johnson. An animal do be nature. What boy, Mwamba, what fish and the quadrature. Easy. No, the pimp or abbe pimp, dre yedri. An animal yes, the one I see. One could down one church, one could down cane. One could down way or con man. One could down way in one could down way and tassy. None the BBI, we peria, yakade ampa. And none of one of him.
Drums are not only musical instruments, they are also a means of communication. People talk to each other by using drums. Many African languages are based on high and low sounds. For example, when the Ashantis say good morning, it sounds like this. Machi, machi. The word has a low sound and a high sound. Machi. It can also be said by a drum that can beat both high and low sounds. Thank you, Mr. Ite. Mr. Ite has just told me you are welcome. This small drum is used for sending messages short distances. The pitch of the drum is changed by pressing on it. Mr. Ite is signaling a lion is near the village. It's now saying, run, run. In former times, when lions were found in many parts of Ghana, children would run and hide when they heard this. When messages have to be sent long distances, larger drums are used. Because the sound of this kind of drum cannot be changed, more than one drum must be used to get a low sound and a high sound. The message Mr. Yite is sending is, Ohini Niba, the chief is coming. See if you can hear the words, Ohini Niba. Sometimes a message is sent from one group of drums to another a few miles away, and then to another group of drums, and then to another, until the message is heard a long distance away. Poetry is also played on the drums. Often, large groups of people gather together to listen to our poems. Instead of the poems being spoken, they are played on the drums. Let's listen now to a poem from the Ashanti tribe, which is hundreds of years old, called The Path and the River. Since I'm sure that few of you understood the poem, Miss Emerencia Tamuklo will say each part in English, Mr. Obley will repeat it in Ashanti, and Mr. Yite will play it out on the drums.
The path has crossed the river has crossed the path. Which is the elder?
Okwan twenso, nsuchi okwan, banyene wan.
We made the path and found the river.
Obonkwaya, otonso.
But the river was made from long ago
Nsu yefetete.
by the creator of the universe.
Nsu yefe odoman kuma boade.
Now let's listen to the entire poem again, played by Mr. Yite.
Akwaba. Welcome to Spirit Friday. On Fridays, it's only about spirituality. It's only about going deeper into the dimensions. It's only about speaking or saying the things that you would not hear anywhere. And in as much as I say that I speak about the things that you practically not hear anywhere, doesn't necessarily mean that I am the first to know this or I'm the first to discover this. What I mean by saying things that you will not hear it anywhere is that the things that I talk about are things that our generation are running away from. As to the question of why our generation is running away from these intelligence, these knowledge, these science, I call it science because the belief system of our fathers is basically what is interpreted today as science. The question of why our people are running away from these science is insane. We don't even understand. I don't understand it. And I don't want to act like I've known this all my life. No. At a point in my life, I ran away from this too. So in as much as I understand the fact that people are running away, they are running away not because these things are not true, but they are running away because those on the left or those on the right, either ways you want to place the spirituality of our fathers, are ensuring that nobody would believe and accept the intelligence and the spirituality of our fathers. So therefore, I want to discuss something that the powers that be were discussing with me this week. And I want to know if you've heard these things anyway. And if yes, then kudos to you. Then it means that you are also really going deeper. And I'm excited because I want a lot of us to wake up and come into the knowledge of this truth. But if the answer is no, and I need you to listen carefully or attentively, majority of us are living life on a two-dimensional platform. Two-dimensional in the sense that it's either yes or no. We don't know anything else apart from these dimensions of life. So it's either every single one of us is going according to what is being told or not. So when it comes to spirituality, and oftentimes people ask you the question, do you believe in Jesus? And you say no. Then the immediate answer or the immediate attack or response that comes from the person is that you believe in the devil. So we are living in a realm where if it's not for Jesus, then it's demonic. If it's not for religion, then it's demonic. If the masses don't accept what you are saying or what you believe in, then it's wrong. Well, I got a simple question. Since when did the masses know any better? Since when did the masses know any right? Or since when was the mass or the masses right? I mean, if I don't know any better, I think Christians should learn from the very Bible that they use, though. Because if the Bible is telling you broad is the way that leads to distraction, and narrow, very tiny, very few people and are on the way of salvation, what does this mean? This means that what the majority is saying is true is the wrong, according to the Christian Bible. This means that don't follow what everybody is going after, according to the Christian Bible. So if everybody is saying something is right, then at least somebody comes and says, no, what you are saying is right, is actually wrong. Then which one is the broad way and which one is the narrow way? How can I be on the path of the narrow way if I'm the one saying that where the masses are going is wrong? And that is the two-dimensional life that I want to talk about, because it's either we have it as A or we have it at B. Our generation and most human beings fail to accept or understand the fact that life goes beyond just these two dimensions. And that is where I was last week teaching you that the Creator created the spirit beings. These spirit beings are who our fathers called the God. Nyamemu, Nyamemu. The reason why we call it Nyamemu or me, Nyame, is simply because my God. So our fathers gave them the names that we recognize to this day. These are the first creatures, those that exist in the spirit realm. And you want to know something that is very fascinating, but nobody is really speaking about it? You came from the spirit realm. So that which came first is exactly where you came from. So before you came into this physical world or this solid state, you have gone through all the stages of transformation and have physically or finally landed here in this realm. And as we come into this solid state, the next line of action is to transform back to liquid, to gas, and back to the spirit state. There's not a single thing that is on the face of this earth that is looking to go down. Every single thing created on the face of this earth keeps going up. Everything the Creator created keeps going up. Even the sun and the earth and the planetaries keeps going. Science. It keeps going. The sun is literally dragging the earth into dimensions. The trees grow up, the grass grow up, the flowers grow up. The water is constantly going up. The earth is constantly. Everything that is created in the solid state is meant to be transformed back to the other states that it came from into this dimension. So you cannot live your life walking in this physical mindset, physical mentality, and just remain in this physical state. Yes, I would believe this physical state have certain demands, and so therefore when this demand comes up, sometimes it's almost impossible to deny these demands. Like sleeping, like eating, like waking up, like the cycles that we go through. These are physical demands. But majority of the time, a lot of people are trying to translate these physical demands of physical state into the spirit state. So when people are asking for the definitions of spiritual dimensions, all the examples that they bring forth are physical or solid state things. Solid state is the final manifestation of that which already exists in the spiritual state. Oh boy. Every single thing that exists here is looking to go up. Every single thing. And those that are up are looking to come down. I'm going to say something that is really huge, but I'll still say it anyway because this is Spirit Friday. There are a lot of people that I'm walking among says, how should I say this? Because all of us are not. But there are particular people that are walking amongst us that are actually not fully humans. There are a lot of people that are walking amongst us that in time past or in times to come will literally be worshipped as gods. The reason why they will be worshipped as gods is because in their spiritual state, before they came into the gaseous state or the gaseous state to the liquid state to the solid state, they were worshipped as God in the spiritual state. Now, as they fall through their transformation and come into the solid state, they are still gods. But they are gods that were worshipped that have been transformed into a physical state. So as they walk to and fro, they are not ordinary. And when I say I'm not trying to make this so mystical that makes you feel like, wait a minute, now he's taking it too far. No, what I mean is that there are majority of us that are not just ordinary. You see, you need to understand the destination of every living existence on the face of this dimension is living to exist in the spirit state. The only thing that is keeping us earthbound, and I'm sorry to disappoint those of you who believed in this science theory, gravity, it's not gravity. It is not gravity. The only thing that remains or causes us to stay in this dimension is our body. Our body is the anchor. And I'm talking about body, whether the tree is the body of the spirit of the tree, the stone is the body of the spirit of the stone, the body of the fish is the body of the spirit of the fish. The lion, the antelope, the elephant. These are all unique bodies that have been limited to dwell in this solid state for some period of time. When you finally wake up into this understanding and you realize the depthness of your existence, you begin to understand that the only thing that has been your limitation all this while is not some demon that is working at you. It's not some power that is against you. It's not some forces from your background that is against you. It's the mindset that you've been programmed to believe that is literally working against you. Because the only limitation that we have is this physical manifestation. The minute this jacket falls off, the only place of your abode is in a spirit state. Ooh. Did somebody hear what I just said? The only thing that is keeping the tree earthbound is the trunk, is the body of the tree. Man. It's the body of the tree. The body of the tree is the only thing that is causing it to stay in this dimension. The minute the tree loses the body, the trunk is gone up to the spirit state. That is why, in as much as we have life happening in this solid state, there is life happening in the liquid state. That is why everywhere you find water to exist, there are powers, there are beings existing in the water. So the same way we look at the water and say these are powerful beings existing in the water state, the same way they look at us and say this is a powerful being existing in the solid state. The only thing that limits our existence is the particular states that we find ourselves at a given time. So until we come into the complicity of being able to manifest into any of these four states at any given time, you will still suffer certain levels of limitations. The powers of the waters are looking at us like this earth people. I want to have a relationship with these earth people. We the earth people are looking at them. These are power. These are demon. These are demonic. Those in the earth, those existing inside the earth realm, are looking at those on the surface of the earth and say, "Oh boy." Those that are existing in the air. Even your Christian Bible tells you that. Paul said what? The things that I saw in the dimension, I'm not permitted, I'm not allowed to speak about them. Meaning there's a life force happening in the air realm, the air element. So these powers in the air element are also looking at the earth element and say, look at the people in the earth. And the people living in the spirit dimension are saying, look at the people. And we look at them like these are the power. So each and every single state is looking at the other like these are powerful beings. And every single state of existence is representing the Creator. If you don't understand this, let me try and use this as an example and see if it will help you. So long as the balloon remains deflated, the balloon is flat, the balloon is earthbound. The minute the balloon gets inflated, after its deflated state, when it gets inflated, the balloon ceases to exist in the realm that it is of idleness to a realm of activity. So that balloon can bounce up and down because the balloon has moved from a certain state into another state. This same balloon, when you change the air in it, you change the common air, carbon dioxide that you breathe in it, or whatever oxygen, whatever you breathe in it, and then you put helium in it, all of a sudden, the balloon keeps going up, and it's not stopping. So one balloon has exhibited 3 different states. The same balloon, when you put water in it, the balloon stays grounded. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So the state of the balloon is dependent on what gas or what substance that is in the balloon at a given time. Are you getting it? So let me reverse it. The state of the human being determines what suit the human being is putting on. That is why when we come into our dream state, all of a sudden we are flying all over the place. Our bodies are no longer limitations. Is somebody getting it? Your body is only a limitation because you are in this solid state. Once you go into dream state, you can fly, you can swim 10,000, 100,000, 200,000 feet down the water, and you still not get drowned. In the dream state, your body is not limited. In the physical realm, your body is limited. So the tree is limited, the stone is limited, the giraffe is limited because of the bodies that they are anchored in this physical state. So what is keeping you steady here is not gravity. The whole law of gravity is bogus. What is keeping you here is the body, the anchor that the Creator has kept you in. That is what is keeping you bound in this dimension. What does all of this mean? This is what it means. When you become aware of who you are, when you become aware of this entity that is engulfed in this body that you are so proud of, this body will no longer limit you, because when you have to operate in the water state, you operate. When you have to operate in the air state, you operate. When you have to operate in the spirit state, you operate. Are you understanding what I'm saying? What does that mean? You still asking me? It means is that you have every power within this body to create whatever existence you want to see. Because your spirit, for your information, just can't wait to move on. But so long as this body is alive and existing and well, living well, the spirit is bound here into this dimension. So while you are here, while you are existing in this dimension, what do? You make the best out of what you can make in this dimension. Because there's coming a time that you wouldn't be in this dimension anymore, but you'll be in the other dimensions. What experience are you gathering here in this dimension to move on to the other dimensions that are waiting for you? What experience are you gathering? The time is coming that you will no longer exist in this realm. What knowledge are you passing on to the next dimension? This is what spirituality really means. When you understand this, you will stop paying attention to this physical state and begin to understand that this one dimension, 2 dimension, yes or no type of life that you are living is too minute, it's too small, it's too shallow. This existence is not only good or righteousness, or good or evil, bad or evil. No. You come to a place where you know there's nothing evil. It only exists in the state of being that you find yourself in. Don't get me wrong. People do evil. That is the state they've chosen to operate in. What is your operational state? Would you only stay in this physical state, or you begin to pay attention to the other dimensions that is happening at the same time as your physical experience? Have a great time. I love you. Hope I didn't bore you too much. I'll see you tomorrow on the Sabbath Watch. And don't forget, our prayer and fasting is just around the corner. It's going to be awesome. Love you guys. Let's grow this family, because there's more ahead than what we've known so far.